Three ladies raised their disposable cups high in the air. The room was filled with laughter, music, and the sweet smell of birthday cake. "Cheers to growth and wealth," Lacey said. "Thank you so much, Lacey, for showing us the way." "See as I do okay now," Shade replied, gesturing around her apartment with pride. "And we will always do okay," Lily added, raising her cup even higher as they all burst into loud laughter that echoed through the small space. The morning sun streamed through the window, landing directly on Shade's face and pulling her from her deep sleep. She blinked slowly, her head pounding like someone was using a hammer inside her skull. The room around her was a complete mess. Empty bottles scattered on the floor, cake smeared on the table, and party decorations hanging sadly from the ceiling. She groaned and tried to sit up, holding her throbbing head with both hands. "Ah, this headache no will kill me," she whispered to herself, looking around at the chaos from yesterday's birthday celebration. She stood up slowly, stepping over empty plates and plastic cups. After a few minutes of trying to clean up, she gave up and shook her head. "Let me just call the cleaners, I beg." But to understand how Shade got to this point, we need to go back to where it all began. 3 years ago, Shade, Lily, and Lucy had been best friends growing up in the same poor neighborhood. They shared everything: dreams of leaving poverty behind, hopes of helping their families, and promises that they would always stick together no matter what happened. Then one day, Lucy disappeared. But 6 months later, she returned, and everything about her had changed. She stepped out of her shiny black car wearing an expensive dress and gold jewelry. Within a week, Lucy had convinced both girls to come with her to Lagos. In Lagos, Lucy put them up in her fancy apartment. For the first week, everything seemed perfect. They ate good food, wore nice clothes, and Lucy promised to introduce them to her business soon. "Lucy, no!" Shade had cried. "This cannot be the way. I don't think I can do this." But Lucy's expression hardened. "Go back to what? To poverty? To watching your family suffer while you do nothing? Anyways, why are you even crying? All the while a man never touch you, waiting you gain. Do you know how many ladies come to me begging for connections? Most others pay me to give them this opportunity, and I'm giving it to you for free. Yet today they cry. You be Momo." She hissed loudly and walked out of the room, leaving Shade and Lily sitting in stunned silence. That night, Shade cried as she thought about her mother's words, about her family's hopes, about the promises she had made. Days later, both Shade and Lily were giving their first clients. "Lucy, what do you do me so now?" came a man's voice through the speaker. Lucy had put the call on speaker, and Shade could hear everything. "Why you give me small pikin? She just dey cry since I reach here. I no fit do anything with this one." "Ah, I'm so sorry, boss. No vex, abeg. I'll make it up to you next time," Lucy replied. When Lucy hung up, she turned to Shade with fire in her eyes. "E be like say the poverty will follow you for your mama house. Don't swear for you, abi? You be newbie. Lily be newbie. But she don't land one client. Meanwhile, you will never land. Don't dey get bad report already." "I will set you up one more time. Blow it and you're on your own. I don't get time for people when you feel make money." The next time Shade met a client, she took some pills Lily gave her for boldness. When she got her first 100,000 naira, she was so happy she called her mother immediately. "So fast?" her mother asked. "Make sure no be ashawo you dey do. People for village talk say Lucy na ashawo." "Eh, who talk that one?" "Anyway, I don't know what she dey do. Me na one company give us work." "Okay," her mother replied. After that call, Shade threw herself fully into the business. Within 3 months, she had made enough money to rent her own apartment and move out of Lucy's place. She started a small business for her mother and paid for her 2 younger siblings to go back to school. But even as the money kept coming, Shade dreamed of the day she could leave this life behind and do something more honorable. She prayed about it every night, asking God to forgive her and show her another way. Lucy had one strict rule that she repeated constantly: never date a man unless you want to drop out of this business. However, Shade had a secret. She had met a man named Kelvin, and they had been dating quietly for months. She was saving money to start a real business so she could leave prostitution behind and build a proper life with him. What Shade didn't know was that Lucy had found out about Kelvin. Back in her messy apartment after the birthday party, Shade had just finished talking to the cleaning company when her doorbell rang. She opened the door, expecting to see the cleaners, but instead found Kelvin standing there with fury written all over his face. "Hey love, what's up?" Shade asked, still feeling lightheaded from the previous night's party. "Why is your apartment this messy?" Kelvin demanded, pushing past her to look around the room. "I thought you said you were having a quiet party and you wanted to be alone." Before Shade could answer, Kelvin pulled out his phone and showed her a video. "So this is what you do? And you lied to me. I've been with a whore all this time and I never knew?" "Yes, honey, you never knew because that's not who I really am," Shade said sadly. "Lies! I never knew because you were a deceitful gold-digging whore. Please, let this be the last time we see or hear from each other. I think I might even need therapy to get over this nonsense." With that, he walked out, slamming the door behind him. Shade collapsed on the floor and cried. She lay in the mess of her apartment until the next morning, then got up, took a shower, and went to meet a client. He was right, she told herself as she got dressed. Which man in his right mind would want to be with a prostitute? I should just accept who I am. Everything continued as normal for the next few weeks. Shade tried to push thoughts of Kelvin out of her mind and focus on making money. A few days later, Lucy invited them both for lunch. After they had eaten and were sitting in her beautiful living room, Lucy finally shared her news. "I'm getting married, girls." After the congratulations and excitement died down, Lily added, "But wait though, Lucy, does he know what you do?" Lucy laughed and tossed her hair. "Yes, he was even a major client who said he now wants me for himself only." "Wow, how lucky you are," Shade said, but her voice was sad as she remembered Kelvin. "Please excuse me," she said as she went out to the restroom. In the hallway, as Shade was about to enter the bedroom, the phone on his shelf buzzed with a notification. It was from Kelvin and it read, "Thanks again, Lucy, for saving me from the worst mistake I would have made." Shade's hands began to shake as a chill hit her. Lucy had sent Kelvin that video. Lucy had destroyed her relationship on purpose. "It was you!" she shouted, pointing at Lucy. "You sent Kelvin that video." Lily looked confused, glancing between her two friends. "Guys, what's going on?" Lucy sighed and her shoulders sagged. I know, I did this for your own good, Shade." Shade's voice was getting louder. "You destroyed my life for my own good?" "Shade, understand. You should be with someone who loves you for who you are, not someone who you have to hide your identity from," Lucy said proudly. "It's a lie. You are jealous. You say this now because you found love, but you couldn't stand to see me find mine first." The argument continued, with Lily trying to make peace between them. It took several days, but eventually, Shade decided to forgive Lucy. After all, Lucy had been the one to bring her out of poverty. The wedding day arrived bright and sunny. Lucy looked absolutely stunning in her white wedding dress. The church was filled with Lucy's few family members and friends. Lucy started walking down the aisle toward her groom. Everyone smiled and clapped. Cameras flashed and the pastor stood ready to begin the ceremony. But then, something strange began to happen. Lucy started scratching her neck, then her face. At first, people thought she was just nervous, but the scratching became more frantic. "Something's in my dress," Lucy said, shouting and jumping. The congregation gasped as hundreds of tiny black insects began pouring out of Lucy's wedding dress. Shade, who had been standing with the other guests, burst out laughing. "Karma is real, oh," she shouted, clapping her hands. "It was you," Lucy screamed, trying to brush the insect off her body, while more kept appearing. "Shade, why would you do this now?" Lily asked, looking horrified. Everyone in church turned to stare at the three women, trying to understand what was happening. No, don't do that, oh. Don't look at me, I've done nothing," Shade protested. "Liar," Lily shouted. "You're the only one here who bears a grudge against Lucy." No, don't even try that. I accept, I'm still angry at Lucy right now, but I'm not as wicked as she to pay her back this way. The pastor and other church members quickly gathered around her and began praying loudly. But just as suddenly as it had started, a beautiful woman stepped out from the crowd. "She deserves this," the woman said, calmly looking directly at Lucy. Lucy's groom-to-be stared at the woman in shock. "Kemi, what have you done?" The woman began to laugh. "This is just the beginning." The insect completely disappeared hours later, but then the wedding was cancelled. Lucy's husband walked out of the church, not wanting to have anything to do with her. The weeks that followed, Lucy, Sade, and Lily all quit the prostitution business. The events at the wedding had shaken them all deeply, forcing them to face the reality of what their choices had cost. They went their separate ways. Their friendship had been too damaged by betrayal, jealousy, and guilt to survive. But it was too late for regrets now. All they could do was try to build new lives on the ruins of their old ones and pray that someday they would find the peace and happiness that had always seemed just out of reach.